Functionalists believe the society could be a better place. We don't have to fight one another. There shouldn't be conflict. The only thing we need is to understand our roles and our responsibility. And if we understand that, then we can live in harmony. So for functionalism, they said functionalism is a consensus structuralist approach. For functionalists, any explanation of how order and stability are created and maintained involved looking at how societies are organized at the level of the social system. This involves the idea that various parts of a society, the family, education, work, and so on, work in harmony. Each part is dependent on the others, just as the different parts of the body, such as the heart, lungs, and the brain, work together to form something more complex than the sum of their individual parts, a living body. So the different parts of the society work together to form a social system. According to Persons, in 1937, he argued that every social system consists of 4 functional subsystems: the political, the economical, cultural, and family. So when we're talking about political system, we're talking about the political parties. And we're talking about economic system, we're talking about how we trade, how we buy goods and services. And cultural, this is rooted to where we come from, our origin. And we're talking about our family, the primary socialization, how we are being raised, and our way of living, that's culture. So each of these subsystems perform a different but related functions that address certain problems faced by every society. So the connection between the various parts of the society system, like family, culture, work, and the government, are created by institutional purposes and needs. While order is created at the institutional level through these relationships. Person in 1959 explained how the individual fit into the overall structure of the society on the basis of functional prerequisites. There are things that we must do, things that the society has to do to make individuals function. So, for them, they are structuralists. They believe individuals are naive. They believe individuals do not have that power to change things. So it is the institutions that need to structure themselves in a way that allows individuals to adapt to different changes in the society. So that means society pulls the strings. You get the point? So what are those prerequisites? What are those things that the society has to do to make people conform? They must combine to solve important problems. Every social institution, from families to schools to workplaces, must develop ways to ensure that individuals conform to the needs of both institutions and society as a whole. For persons, institutions do this by developing ways to solve for problems of their existence. These problems are always going to happen. But for the society to function, not only for the institution, for the society to function, for the institution to function with the society, these problems has to be solved. And for it to be solved, we need to work hand in hand. So what are those things we need to do? The first one, goal maintenance. For goal maintenance, so they use example of education. So we're going to use education here. For goal maintenance, institution must provide people with goals to achieve, such as certification. So institutions like schools, they must provide us with a reason for coming to school. They must provide us a reason to come to school. So we know that when we go to school, there's a certificate that we're going to get. Do you understand? So that is what goal maintenance is about. Do you understand goal maintenance? The second one, adaptation. When talking about adaptation, we're talking about cooperation. People need a cooperative environment. So sometimes I want the class to be in decorum. Why do I want the class to be in decorum? I cannot function well as a teacher if the class is noisy. Do you get the point? So we need a classroom environment, and for it to be a classroom environment, the students must conform. The students must understand that the teacher is speaking and they have to listen. So that is part of what we should do as a functioning society. So it means the school must ensure that students understand the importance of being in the classroom. That's the function of the school. That's adaptation. You get adaptation? And the third one is integration. For integration, are you there? For integration, people must have a sense of belonging. You must believe that you are part of the society. So as a student, you must not just pass through the school must pass through you. Do you get the point here? You must not only pass through the school must pass through you. That means you must create a record of positivity that they have to remember you. You must create a legacy that people will look back to after you have left. That is when the school passes through you. So when you pass through the school, that means you graduated. But if the school passes through you, it means you are able to create an impact that people will look back at even when you're gone. That is integration. I think you got integration. And the last one is latency. For latency, we're talking about deviance. People must be punished. What whatever acts you go on with that is not conforming, whatever immoral acts you perform in school, they must not allow it to go unpunished. So here I wrote, latency, conflict must be managed by ensuring that breaking the rules mustn't go unpunished. So we must understand that there are specific ways of behavior. There are acceptable ways to behave in the society. Not only in the society, everywhere, even in school. So if students continue to make noise in the class, they have to be punished for that. If students come late to classes, they have to be punished for that. Yes. So these are ways in which the society can function. So if schools are able to solve these 4 problems of latency, integration, adaptation, and goal maintenance, then they have done their own role. Work will do its own. The family will do its own. At the end of it all, we all depend on each other, but we will be able to make that individual and society to function. Do you understand? So for social control to really work, we need social forces. We need the institutions to work, to understand their roles and responsibility, so that they can actually pull the strings of the individuals in the society. So is it clear? Do you have any question about social control and conformity? Yes. Is it clear? Social control and consensus for the structuralist. So you have to understand that for consensus, it's about the functionalist. For conflict, it's about the Marxist. Is it clear?